With a title like Think and Grow Rich, it's easy to assume that this book's only application is in generating wealth. Well, yeah, but it's also an excellent conversation on how to set attainable goals and how to attain them. We'll ignore fickle money-oriented goals and instead focus on how to set specific, meaningful, attainable, realistic, and timely goals that will result in that sort of payday. So let's say that I'm setting a goal. A widely overlooked and first step is knowing what you want. A lot of people want to be rich, but that's so ambiguous and subjective that it's really going to be a tough one to realize. When you hear a goal as vague as, I want to be rich someday, you can immediately tell that they have no plan of execution. One thing that I've wanted for as long as I can remember is to live a life of exuberant wealth. I've always wanted to be the person that changes the way that things are done, and as a result gets to live the high life at a reasonably young age. So how can I make that goal realizable? Well, what is a symbol of exuberance that means a lot to me? I love cars, so let's say a Mercedes E-Class. Okay, so we're off to a good start. A brand new E-Class will run me around $50,000. Specific? Check. Meaningful? Check. Attainable? Shoot for the stars, baby. Realistic? Absolutely. Timely? You betcha. Whoa there. Ain't no such thing as a free lunch, homeboy. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to reach this goal? Well, there isn't a lot that I wouldn't sacrifice, really. I fit the description that E.T. was talking about when he said that you gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. Right now I've been giving up video games and social life and brash consumerism to meet this end. 3 of my favorite things. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'll sacrifice every free moment for the right opportunity. Okay, but when do I want it by? This is a huge component for the attainability factor of this goal. Without a time window, there's absolutely no hope of attaining it, and with too wide of one, it makes it really easy to give up on. And since this is a relatively ambitious goal, I'll just pace myself at the age of 30. But since it's a relatively large time frame, several small goals will need to be placed in between. Like if this channel was one of those steps toward meeting that end, wink wink, I will set little goals such as the ones that I set for my first video release, which was 100 views in a week and 100 subscribers by the end of January. I checked off one of those, and I hope to meet the second. From then on, I'll just keep scaling my goals with reasonable intervals until this gig becomes a full-time job and I can sustain myself with it. And that segues into my next point in successful goal setting, developing a plan. Now I do plan to make some decent money off of this channel within about 6 months, but this is by no means my plan of action towards attaining an E-Class Benz. This is a crucial part though because I will and have been learning a lot through the making of this channel and all that goes into scaling up to its success. After this channel I'll move on to a small business or businesses of sorts and build them into something that will provide enough income to buy that E-Class. Alright, so we got the what, when, where, how, and why of the goal. But that isn't enough. One of the biggest emphases that Napoleon Hill makes in Think and Grow Rich is that in order to achieve great things, you must develop a statement and a vision. Think about it. If I didn't tell people all the time that one day I'm gonna be the guy with the hot cars and the nice house that everybody looks up to and thinks, gee, I wish that life was for my kind, I would never have even started with this channel. It's only because, in my deepest convictions, I see myself being that person. The one that achieves what so many people wish that they could achieve. Without the vision in the statement, your aspiration is no different from the hot air that the average person blows and never gets around to doing. So take to heart these ideas. Your goals have to be smart. Specific, meaningful, attainable, reasonable, and timely. But those alone are not enough. You have to have the deepest conviction in your heart of hearts to see that goal through and make the necessary sacrifices that come with it. As Dave Ramsey always says, you gotta live like no one else so that one day you can live like no one else, like no one else, like no one else.